Episode 4085, Find Freedom in Your Confession.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend, enjoying the weather and really enjoying each other's company. Sometimes we get so busy that we get wrapped around all the chaos that we forget, oh, wait. I'm married. I have a partner in all of this. Oh, yeah, it's time to find freedom in your confession. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and to sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. All right, well, I just want to let you know where we're headed on this episode. This is going to be a tough conversation. You're going to wrestle with it a little bit, primarily because of the word, and I'll get into that in a minute. But understand this. This episode is for the average marriage right now, the average relationship that you have with a partner where you might get mad at each other, but somehow you still come back together. This is not about a marriage that one partner is abusing the other. Please hear me and understand that. That doesn't mean you can't learn something from this. But to take this and put it into an abusive marriage is actually going to cause more havoc. So I want you to know that up front as you listen. I still believe you can glean some things from this, but again, this is for your average marriage that is doing well. They've got arguments once in a while, but you still come back together. You're intimate on at least, maybe once every 2 weeks. Okay, we'll leave that one for another episode. But let's be real, right? If you're so-called busy all the time, that might be where you're at. And I know, guys, you may not like that, and some women don't like it either. But at the same time, it just can be where you are in the season of life that you're in. But you see, most people hear the word confession. You just heard it, didn't you? And you instantly think of shame, guilt, or secrets left buried. When I say confession to you, what do you think of? Maybe you go to the side of religion and you think of, I've got to confess. I've got to ask for forgiveness. I've got to share all of the shame, the stuff I didn't do right. But you see, when it comes to marriage, it's easy to assume confessions only mean admitting mistakes or airing dirty laundry. But I got a big but for you today. What if confession wasn't just about revealing the bad or the hidden? What if confession was the key to unlocking freedom, deeper connection, and true intimacy with your spouse? My friend, you can find freedom in your confession. Now, as you know, marriage is a daily exercise in being known and accepted. Two people bring their fears. Two people bring their hopes, their imperfections, their dreams, their aspirations into a shared life. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. You're bringing it all. You're not just bringing, I just want to bring this suitcase with me. No, if you've been dragging around your trash all your life, guess what? You're bringing that in your marriage. And if you've been married for 15, 18, 27 years, whatever it is, you're bringing all of that stuff, good, bad, and ugly, with you. And if you're not willing to let it go, what happens? You know what happens. Marriage is not just all about the thrills and adventures, the stuff that puts a smile on your face. Marriage is about doing life together in all things and learning to love the way Christ loves us. See, that's where we're headed here today. Marriage is about doing life together in all things and learning to love the way Christ loves us. And too often we sit here and we hear the word confession and we're like, that means something bad happened. I don't know if you're listening to this episode where you can see basically the thumbnail, the picture there. But with the picture and the title, Find Freedom in Your Confession, and the woman is consoling the man, that's what it appears to be. I know immediately people are thinking, he did something horribly wrong. And actually, it may not be that at all. It might be just sharing what happened. He had a bad day at work. And he's torn up about it. He had to make a hard decision. When you think about confessing in your marriage, what comes to mind? Yeah, I want to give you some time to think about this. Because we don't. We just keep loading the trucks. We just keep moving things along. We just keep going. We keep our schedule so jam-packed. Why? So we don't have to think. And then the habits do our thinking. And just think about where your habits have gotten you. How many trash bags are you carrying around? I want us to be honest. I want you to dig deeper. This isn't about just fluffy stuff. This isn't about roses and rainbows, even though I'm all for that. It's not about diamonds. Because guess where diamonds come from? Deep in the ground. And they're forged within its own fire, so to speak, the movement of nature. It's pretty amazing. It takes work to get a diamond. It takes work to have a marriage that thrives. So when you think about confessing in marriage, what comes to mind? Is it having to bear it all, but really the negative side of it all? Or is it sharing what's in the deepest part of your heart? My friend, the act of confessing, honestly sharing your inner world, your struggles, your trials, your triumphs, you create space for healing. You create space for trust and growth. This is not about piling on blame or opening up old wounds. It's about choosing vulnerability as a path to freedom. And when I think about freedom, I'm thinking about peace, a calmness, where you don't feel like you're on pins and needles all the time. You know, after that heated argument that you've had with your spouse, and you both part ways, and then all of a sudden you have to go into the room that your spouse is in, and you're like, I really do not want to go there. But you walk in anyway, and you're like tiptoeing, like, I don't want to step on anything because I'm just not, nothing's been resolved. I don't have a peace about myself. I don't want you to have to walk around in your marriage like that. I want you to have freedom. I want you to be able to rest in who you are and who you are becoming. I want you to have that gift, and I want you to be able to gift it to your spouse. Because you see, you get to choose how your marriage evolves over months to years to decades. But that comes at the cost of your vulnerability and confession. You want to confess to be free, to be you, to be who you are becoming. So confess to be free. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Now, I understand. I get this. It's not an easy concept. Simply because of how we connect the word confession to actions. Right? In our world, we hear confession and it's all negative. It doesn't have to be that way. I want you to open up your mind and heart to see how confessing can be freeing for you and your spouse. Ultimately, building capacity for your marriage to thrive. It's like opening up the Murphy door. Okay, do you know what a Murphy door is? If you don't, go look it up. No, I'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay, so I've been renovating a lot. We're moving. Lots of stuff is happening, and I'm considering building. And so I am just all in. And when I look at things and I find things like, I want that. And we've lived everywhere in my lifetime, okay, let alone my spouse and I together. But when I was growing up, and then when we lived in this one house, we had basically this secret door. Now, it wasn't officially a Murphy's door, okay? Murphy's door, that is an actual brand. You can go look it up. But they have it to where it looks like you have a bookcase, but it's really a door, and then you go in and there's another room. It's really cool. You've probably heard of a Murphy's bed, where it looks like a bookcase, but then you pull it down and it's a bed. It's awesome if you need space for, you need to have double the amount of usage of a room. So you can have a guest room and an office in one room. It's fabulous. Well, I look at confessing as being like that Murphy's door in your marriage. It's like, okay, we're going to confess. And every single time I do, we're opening up the door wider and wider and wider. Why? So we can get to who you really are and who you really are becoming. Because when you connect on that level in the hidden parts of your heart, I don't care what storm comes along, you will be able to weather it. Because you see each other. You know exactly. And it's not just, yes, it is about finishing each other's sentences. I get that. But you know the depths of the heart. Like you know all the veins and the arteries that are coming in and out of there. You know the dirty ones and the clean ones. You know where you want to hang out and where, well, we're just going to let that be. It's in the past. But you see it all. And you accept it and you love anyway. Just as Christ loves us. So confess to be free. You can build the security needed to genuinely confess the good, the bad, and the ugly and find freedom in doing so. And I want to give you some ways in doing that. Now understand this. This is a two-way street. So I'm sharing this with you, but you also have to share it with your spouse. And if you're like, I don't want to have this conversation, great, then let me have the conversation. Say, hun, I've been listening to this crazy lady. Okay, maybe don't call me crazy lady, but one who really kind of gets to it. And you'll like her because she talks about sports sometimes. Have you been watching the French Open? Have you been seeing the NBA Finals? Have you been watching the Stanley Cup? Oh my goodness, 2 nights ago, did you see what happened? Oh, if not, go watch the replays. Go see just the highlights. Because I thought for sure Vegas had it all wrapped up, but Carolina said, oh, no, we're coming back. And they did it. And then, Carolina thought they won it because they were up by 1 in full regulation time. And Vegas said, we're not letting that happen. And they came back. They went into overtime. I'll leave it at that. You finish the rest. But share it with your spouse. Say she talks about sports. You'll enjoy it. You'll get to see and hear about some things that I really think we need to talk about. And I don't know how to put it into words, so I want her to put it into words for us, and then we can talk about it. Okay? Do that. I'm here for you in that manner. Maybe you have someone who's going through something, and you're like, this would be good for them. Then share it. Right? If you're excited about something, if it brings something to you, if it's a gift, then pass it on. And all I can say from my heart is thank you. Because you are creating impact beyond your own ears. And that's important. That's so important. So let's talk about what it's like to confess to be free, what it looks like and how you can set it up. Number 1, create a non-judgmental space. Fear of criticism or rejection is the number 1 barrier to honest conversation. I'm sure we can all shake our heads and say, yep, that's true. Fear of criticism or rejection. We don't want to say something for fear of, oh, there he goes, he's out the door. To confess anything hard, your spouse needs assurance that their words won't be weaponized or dismissed. Now, you understand why I said at the very beginning that this needs to be kind of your average marriage, one where you kind of can talk or you can argue, but you still come back together again. This is not if you're in an abusive relationship, okay? That's why. Because what you're doing here and exactly what I'm saying, you are too honest. They're going to take it and weaponize against you, okay? That's not a real marriage, by the way. And I would plead with you to go get help. Find someone that you can talk to, that knows where you are, that you can trust. Seriously, because it's serious. Your mental well-being, your psychological well-being, your spiritual well-being, right? What I call your holistic lifestyle, your holistic living, who you are and who you are becoming is dependent on it. So when you're looking at this, to confess anything hard, you've got to have that assurance that what I share with you, babe, is not going to be turned around on me at some point. Because if that's the case, then you can't have confession, right? In all honesty. And there's something missing in your marriage. Let's be real. But let's say you can, and you can have that conversation and say, okay, I'm going to trust you with this. You've earned my trust. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this together. Practicing active listening without interrupting or defending or minimizing builds trust. So make it clear that honesty won't lead to anger or withdrawal, but is valued as a bridge to understanding. So when you're honest with each other, it's like, okay, I'm building a bridge because I want you to understand my position. Don't sit there and attack who I am. Now, hear me out on this one too. How it's received, you cannot control. All you can do is express yourself or let your spouse express themselves, right? And you only can control how you receive it. So understand that, okay, I'm taking this in to have a deeper understanding, not to judge. And you need to make that clear with your spouse too. I am sharing this with you because you are not to judge me here. I need to talk about this with you. And you need to understand my position. It doesn't mean you agree with my position, but you need to hear my position and understand where I'm coming from. And when your partner feels safe, guess what happens? The walls come down. You want to create this for your spouse. You want to create it and have it created for you. So ask for and create that non-judgmental space for each other. Make it a mutual agreement and say, this is where we start. And maybe this is the only thing you do for months, is just creating this space. And maybe you're thinking, okay, well, Christiane, you said, confessions, like you're supposed to go deeper. Your depth may only be, I had a really bad day at work, and this is the situation and what happened. It may not be sharing something that your best friend did to you 2 years ago, and you're still dealing with that now. And it's affecting how you interact with your children. Okay, understand, I'm making this all up, okay? Just go with me here. But this stuff really does happen. And so you got to practice it out. You got to then live it out so that the non-judgmental space is part of your everyday. Remember, you get to create your now. You get to figure it out together because you're better together. Number 2, practice radical honesty in small moments. This is so you're not going to get overwhelmed because it can feel like that. But confession isn't only for the big bombs or crisis. Start by sharing small truths regularly, the good, the quirky, the uncomfortable. Like, oh yeah, my day, I ran into this gal and I haven't seen her in like 3 years. And all of a sudden she just went off on me. I had no idea what the problem was. I just sat there, listened to her, and I just told her to have a great day. And I walked away. Okay, now you might be thinking, well, that's not a big deal. That's not a huge confession. It might be a big deal if the lady that you ran into happens to be a good friend of your spouse's, right? And then all of a sudden she goes home and says, you will not believe what she did. I ran into her at the store and she said this to me. And then when that didn't even happen. But you had the opportunity to share and say, this is what happened. It just made me feel weird. But I just wanted you to know because you know her husband and you may run into him and I don't want you caught off guard. And I just want you to know how I felt. Right? It's the uncomfortable, maybe the little bit of quirkiness. This drills the muscle of vulnerability and makes honesty a habit, not a last-ditch effort. And a lot of times we're just like, it's just easier just to kind of smooth things over and to go on. But when we do that, we sometimes leave out honesty. Believe it or not, we probably tend to tell more white lies than we do honest truths because it's easier to smooth out. I don't want that in your marriage. I want you to have radical honesty. And when you consistently communicate, even about minor feelings or frustrations, it establishes a pattern of openness. Remember the Murphy door? Yeah. You open it a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. Over time, sharing the harder stuff becomes less scary and more natural. You're like, yes. And then it's almost what? You're bonding over it. I know, crazy, huh? To think that you could bond over something that may be quirky, may be odd. But no, because in that moment, you are loved unconditionally. And who doesn't want that more than anything? Finally, number 3, own your role and invite feedback without defensiveness. Confession requires humility, not just admitting what's wrong, but receiving your spouse's honesty without shutting down. We tend to do that, especially if it's an honest conversation when it's like, hey, babe, I want to share this with you. And they're coming not at you, but to you to say, what you did here really made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't like how you approached the situation. All of a sudden now walls are up, right? No. Approach feedback as a gift, not an attack. Again, it's a two-way street though, right? If you're doing it, you've got to be able to give it. And if they're doing it, they've got to be able to give it. Hence why you got to have your spouse listen to this too. Approach feedback as a gift, not an attack. Staying curious rather than defensive encourages your partner to be truthful without fearing your reaction. Leading by example, owning your own missteps and inviting, corrections lowers the stakes for hard conversations and truly builds mutual respect. You got to have respect in your marriage, and respect is earned. It's not just given freely. So own your role. Invite that feedback. Approach that feedback as a gift, not as an attack. And if you have to, in your mind, when you first do it, say, this is a gift. It's wrapped in a pretty box with a beautiful bow. It's a gift. I'm going to learn something. There's a diamond in the rough here, and I'm willing to look at it. I'm willing to see what it might bring, how it will grow me. Okay? This is what you can tell yourself internally. Because my friend, confession in marriage isn't about dwelling on faults or weaknesses. It's not. It's about courage. The courage to be fully known and fully loved despite imperfection. It's about freedom from the lies and the pretenses that keep you isolated. When you choose to confess openly with empathy and trust, you're not only owning your truth, you're inviting your spouse to meet you there where real love lives. So don't wait for a crisis or a catastrophe. Don't wait for a 911 moment. Find freedom in your confession today. And then watch how your marriage grows stronger through the honest connection these conversations create. You get to decide. You can be better together, but you get to choose how you create your now. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.